maybe it's just me. Maybe this is obvious to everyone, but I think it's understated how significant taking a break from gaming can impact your enjoyment of gaming in a positive way. I think it's too harshly considered that you're a casual or something if you don't play games all day, every day, or multiple times a week, or whatever. And more, as I grow up, as I deal with life's responsibilities, I have a kid, I have far less time, I have different priorities, gaming is no longer the thing I do all day, every day. I don't have as much room for escape. I don't necessarily need as much escape, and I just have more important things to do. And even when I have free time, often there are other priorities that come up. I've talked about this a bunch in recent videos. But most recently, I more or less went an entire month without playing a single game. To me, even just like 6 or 7 years ago, or college me, or high school me, that would have sounded insane. It would have been like, false, impossible. Pixar didn't happen. Because I was always gaming. If I had downtime, I was fitting in a multiplayer match in Halo or Call of Duty or something. If I had time when I was traveling, I was playing Pokemon. If I was sitting at home, I was trying to make it through single player games or big multiplayer sessions with friend groups or whatever. And in October, I played basically nothing. I checked in on Warframe once or twice when we were really sick. I probably jumped in Minecraft with my kiddo for like half an hour at one point. And then that was it. I didn't make any progress in my single player games. I didn't play any multiplayer. I didn't pick up any handheld games. Nothing. I started getting back to it as we've started November here. I'm picking up Dragon Age again with my wife. I've just killed 2 different dragons. I'm about to wrap up the elf quest of bringing on the elves from the Brazilian forest to my side. This is Dragon Age Origins, by the way. And we might pick Baldur's Gate back up soon, so we can finally finish Act 3 after a year. We took a break and haven't gone back to it. And I want to get back into Warframe. There's a Halo 2 playlist and Halo Infinite, although there's very few players on Steam, so it's probably going to be miserable. There's a lot of gaming I want to do, but the break was really nice. I didn't even think about it, and I didn't even process how long it had been because I was so busy with everything else. I won't go too into detail because I already mentioned it in past videos, but it was my kiddo's fall break at the start of October, and we were sick at different points throughout the month and whatever. Like, we were just busy, and it just didn't make sense. I've been really getting into my art lately, so I have a lot more videos releasing on Analog Dreams, and some of them are for Christmas presents for family, so I'm not showing them off until after Christmas, so you'll have to wait on those. But really stoked with the style I'm developing and the tools that I'm learning to use and whatever. But now that I'm coming back to games, I feel so much better about them. So specifically, since I mentioned it, using Dragon Age as an example, my wife and I started playing through Dragon Age Origins earlier this year. I had beat Mass Effect 1, started Mass Effect 2, was feeling a little burnout after trucking through 1 and, getting a good chunk into 2. And so we wanted to switch it up. And we decided, well, Dragon Age Veilguard's coming out this fall. Let's see if we can make it through the Dragon Age games. That was a fool's errand. We're still on the first one. But I was enjoying it. There was a ton of friction starting up. The combat is ridiculous to get used to. Some of the controls are pretty wonky and whatever. It's a very unstable game. But I kind of got into it. And then after, we played enough sessions. I'm like 30 hours into the game already. I started to get burned out. Started not feeling it anymore. I wasn't as driven to play it. And that's when the kind of natural break happened anyway. And now that we're coming back to it, I am immersed in this game. I am loving it. And it's fascinating. I want to make a whole separate video about why graphics do not help immersion. But it doesn't matter that this game is busted. The graphics are from 2006 or whatever year it came out. I am immersed in the game because it has good storytelling, decent writing, characters I'm starting to care about, and puts me in interesting scenarios. And it's rewarding me for my work as a player. But I don't think I'd be enjoying it this much if I wasn't, if I didn't have that break, if I didn't have that time where I wasn't thinking about the games or obsessing over them, when I just took a break and came back to it when it felt good. And I think too many people these days try to be a hardcore gamer, even if it's not a conscious thought. But like, when you do something as your side hobby, that's just what you do. And so if you have time, that's what you fill it with. And if you aren't filling it, especially when it comes to like multiplayer shooters and competitive games and stuff, you still push yourself to do it anyway. And you just aren't satisfied with your time. And I think this really leads to like a degraded emotional state in general, because you're not getting the reward you want. You're not having a good time. You're literally just wasting your time if you're not enjoying doing the hobby. And then you start it all over, and it just keeps building. And I think that's why so many competitive and live service game communities get so gross and kind of toxic to themselves, because they're so obsessed with just sticking with the one thing instead of seeing if the grass is greener on the other side, or just generally taking breaks. So that's just my message today. If you're not enjoying games, if you're struggling to pick something to play, like if you're not excited to play something when you sit down to play a game, one of the best things you could probably do for yourself, this is a bold claim, but is go find another hobby. I think everyone would be more well-rounded, more introspective, whatever, if you spent more time doing other things than a singular hobby. Whether it's drawing and painting, photography, it doesn't even have to be creative. Go walking, work out, introspection, journaling, or frankly, if it's just watching TV, go do some of that. It's okay. You don't need to just consume one medium. I think we'd all be a little bit happier if we broadened our horizons a bit. It's just been on my mind. Like I said, I literally haven't gamed during October, so I'm catching up now. I have lots I want to talk about. There just hasn't been an opportunity with all of... I basically dedicated all of like August and September to this channel, and then had to balance it back out. Speaking of balance, with TwitchCon and everything, I've been slowly finding my balance again. Lots of stuff coming up on the art channel. Like I said, I just put up a video about a glitch art portrait I made last year and then made even better this year. I have a video coming out next week about a cool miniature painting thing I did over the summer, and one after that with some fall photography, videography stuff. Go subscribe, Analog Dreams, over there, and come join us on the forums, demodiscs.zone, Discord, evilsfox.gg/Discord, and remember to be kind, rewind.